noise legislation was introduced in Japan in 1968, but it had a limited scope and was mainly addressing occupational noise and construction noise. The USA created the NEPA, the Noise Environmental Policy Act, in 1969. Later, in 1971, the Noise Control Act was introduced. These legislations were much broader and protected citizens also against environmental noise, not only occupational and construction noise. In the beginning, the strict limits were only set between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. Enforcement was scarce, as taking offenders to court is expensive. Only warnings would be given out, and in most cases that did not solve the issue. In 1979, the Netherlands introduced the Wet Geluidhinder, which translates into Regulations for Noise and Pollution Control. Before introducing the noise legislation in the Netherlands, the government had done their homework. This means that they calculated estimated costs of noise mitigation. They also calculated the estimated costs if there were no or very little noise legislation. The costs without noise legislation would include productivity loss of laborers because of noise-induced stress and sleep deprivation, and the cost of healthcare due to noise nuisance and noise stress. It was truly clear that investing in noise mitigation was a lot cheaper than predicted healthcare costs. Of course, creating a sound living environment for your citizens is also a good reason to control noise pollution. So around the time of the introduction of noise legislation in the Netherlands, I was just finishing my bachelor degree as a civil engineer. My father was a doctor of medicine, but also had a Doctor of Science degree and was involved in research in the early 1960s. Most of the research was focused on finding the correlation between noise nuisance and health issues. So you can imagine that everywhere where we went as a family, my father would always point out to listen to many sounds. Regular sounds in a restaurant, but especially the reverberation and, for example, a loud fan in the kitchen. This made me very much aware of the sound, and it got me so much interested in acoustics that I decided to continue to study, but this time in acoustics.